But it does definitely seem to be pushing against it. But you know what? Any type of wind will actually bring those, bring those flames to life, even though it seems to be going against the actual fire itself. I mean, the fire wants to run up the hill, and the winds are pushing it the other direction. But any type of wind is going to fuel those flames, and that is what I'm sure the reason why this thing has just exploded the way it has. Now, these are actual firefighting aircraft that are here already, starting to drop water on it. You can see them making their way past that area, and some folks at home might be like, well, why isn't he going to put that out? They're going to try to slow the progress. They're going to try to slow the progress, so they're going to be making the drops probably up over here or on the sides over here, so it doesn't spread, north and south or east and west. But yeah, definitely a lot of bulk of fire underneath there, a lot of vegetation burning. If there is, again, another positive, the water source that is nearby is going to be Lake Hughes or near Castaic. That is very, very close by. So as far as the aircraft getting water, it's going to be a quick turnaround. But look at all that fire that is going on down there, and you can see how it's already spotting and just jumping from location to location. This is going to be a massive fire, and I venture to say it's going to be here till the rains come. Not at all. I'm kind of looking at the clock right now. I would say about 30 minutes max. And we saw it from actually near downtown Los Angeles when we were actually on another story, and then my pilot Jeff looked up and he said, "Yeah, there's something popping off up by Lake Castaic." And right about the same time, our desk was calling us saying that we need to start moving up this direction. So yeah, it's been about 30 minutes or so, and look at the bulk of fire down there. And and this is it's one of those things where I look at that, and you can't expect any firefighting equipment to stop that. They need to get ahead of it. They need to do what they do to slow that fire. But when it's entrenched on a hillside and it's running up that hillside like that, there's very little that anybody could do to stop it. They can try to contain it. Maybe we'll start seeing some fixed wing aircraft out here shortly, but this is definitely moving very, very quickly. And those bulk of fire, this is one of those things too, probably those licks of fire that are popping up there, probably over 10 feet high, and that is all being fueled by the winds. Yeah, definitely. Probably anybody in the Santa Clarita area, after what we've been witnessing out here in Los Angeles and the Palisades fire, the Eden fire, I'm sure anybody down there in the Castaic area right now concerned. The only positive, again, is that you can see it's moving away from, it's moving up to the, I would venture to say that's probably even to the north of the lake. So it's heading out in that direction, and that's where the aircraft are going to be dropping a lot of their water. And you can see that this location out here, this area it's Los Angeles County, but look at all that fuel, look at all that vegetation. They haven't had a fire out here in quite some time. So those flames have a lot of fuel to get into, but again, the winds are pushing it one way. The flames want to climb up the hillside. That's actually working in the firefighters, for them and not against them. But at this time right now, 10 aircraft dropping water. I think that's a generous amount. Hopefully they're going to really get on there and try to slow that movement up that hillside and then try to contain it in the other directions as well. But right now, I could, like you said, anybody that's out in the Santa Clarita, Newhall area, they're smelling smoke. They're seeing this big, huge plume. I'm sure, I venture to say a lot of folks are concerned. But again, if they're not saying evacuate, if they're not saying go, 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 right now, I'm sure you guys are safe. But this firefight's going to be here for a while. Most definitely. You have Lake Hughes Road right there. That's going to be, it's not even a fire road. That's an actual access road that's going to take you right now pretty much right up to those flames that we're seeing towards the, not the very head of the fire, but close to the head of the fire. It's just continuing to come up over those ridge lines right there. And you can just see that wall of fire as it just running up those hillsides. And all that black smoke, again, I can't say that enough. Those are not structures on the other side. Hopefully there isn't a structure or one or two. Definitely not homes burning like we saw in the Palisades area, but you can see those flames just running up those hillsides out here. And look at all that vegetation that's fuel for the fire. So as long as it's continuing up that hill, this is it's just going to keep devouring all that chaparral up here, and the flames are just going to keep moving forward and forward and forward. Now those helicopters that we saw, you said that there's going to be 10 of them eventually. They're going to be doing a lot of the drops up in the area that we're showing you right there. You have to excuse me, I'm actually holding my cell phone to my ear and running the camera, so the movements might be a little jerky or a little off. Beneath the smoke, that's kind of gives you an idea what is burning, what is fueling that huge plume of smoke that's coming up over the Newhall, Santa Clarita area. And they are definitely calling this Lake Hughes. That's the name of the fire, but Castaic is very, very close by, and these flames just continue to bellow out here. And it's a little awe-striking to see that amount of fire just running up these hillsides, and how quickly it is just running out here. And again, they are LA County Fire working with Cal Fire. They're going to do their best, and it is going to be a massive attack here in moments. But right now, that fire is just pretty much running almost unchecked, and those helicopters dropping water, just trying to slow the progress of the fire. Did we lose the IFB? Or is it just because we got a phoner? Is it because we lost the IFB, or is it because we got the phoner? Yeah, this is going to be ugly. How long do we have for fuel? Because I know we were up for a minute. 45 minutes? Oh. SKYFOX assignment desk, SKYFOX assignment desk. We have about 45 minutes on station, 45 minutes on station. Communications are going to be very difficult. I do not have my earbuds, and I'm trying to hold my phone underneath my headsets, but even that's dropping out. Just letting you guys know, 45 minutes on station. Okay. I'm trying to find Paradise Ranch. Yeah, I don't got any Paradise Ranch in here. Just make the turn quicker. Oh. All right. Sure thing. I got you. I got you guys. I got you. Yeah, you can see some of those first responders, those camp crews making their way down there. That's going to be Lake Hughes Road, and they have got a heck of a job as soon as they get to where they need to be. And you can see like they're just kind of letting this stuff go because there's very little that they can do right there. They're going to be working their way towards the front of the fire where the direction it's going to do what they can to slow those flames out there. But that is really just continuing to go. I wish I could have gotten the numbers or listened to that interview. I heard him say the name name's Paradise Ranch. I was trying to find that location up here, but it's not coming up on any of our maps so that's anywhere nearby this location, but you can clearly see how it's continuing to run out here. All that thick black smoke, I can't stress that enough. Those are not homes burning out here. That's just going to be this type of vegetation that you're seeing on the hillside. Lake Hughes Road right there, I would venture to see we're going to see some of those camp crews making their way probably around here shortly. They are trained professionals. They can drive in through these type of areas. They know what they're doing, but these flames continuing to run out here. I could venture to say the acreage is just going to kind of keep jumping up and up and up as we continue to watch this thing burn. That huge plume of smoke seen from the valley, I can tell you we saw it from South Los Angeles, and that was probably more than almost 45 minutes ago, so I could say that anybody that looks up to the north or out towards Santa Clarita, you're going to see this over the hillside, and this is what is burning. It is very close to that Lake Hughes, and that's going to be a good thing for the firefighters and the helicopters. Now, you got to think about this as well as logistics. You know, these flames are going to make their way along these hillsides. You can actually see some of them right now making their way over towards the lake, but that's going to be a natural fire break for most of that fire as it makes its way in that general direction, which is going to be eastbound technically. So those flames are going to make their way to that lake. It's just going to stop right there. But as the stuff that's moving up this way, that's going to be the big concern. Now, we might get lucky. There might be an area out here where there's a natural break, and it does seem like the winds really could be helping, and believe it or not, by kind of slowing the roll as it would be, as it makes its way, as it comes up and it crests a lot of these hillsides, it's going to have to go a lot slower as it's going to make its way down the other side. Now, the firefighters, they take advantage of this. They know that's going to be happening. SKYFOX, we're making a turn again, coming back, but this is what they're going to be doing, is they're going to look for these spots where it crests those hillsides, and that's where it's going to slow down, and then, of course, that's where they're going to try to hit it with the water. I'm not giving, it's basically, that is just how we've been watching them fight these fires. But you can see that it's still very active out here, huge plume of smoke. And again, this just popping up literally within minutes. And it just shows you once again how Southern California, we are always in fire weather. We are always on fire alert. And it is very dry. It is very tender out here. But again, the temperatures are down. The winds are less. We're still having that red flag event. So that's definitely not helping the situation. But again, with all the resources that they're throwing out here, there's one of the LA County ships. Hopefully they can at least slow the advance and then take advantage of how the fire behavior, and hopefully they'll get this at least slowed down before it gets to any structures heading out towards Agua Dulce and that general area. I heard the pause. I'm not sure if that was for us. I heard you saying that they're definitely hitting this from the air and on the ground as well. We saw those camp crews, and those men and women in those little trucks. It is amazing how they can get out there and basically just cut line, just slow the fire from making the progression and keep it from spreading out towards. I'm looking at the map right there. I just want to be accurate. So the way we're looking at technically north is going to be like out this direction right here. So it is going in the northward direction, but technically I believe it's actually moving like a northeasterly up into that canyon area, into the forest out here. Lake Hughes Road is in that general area. There's a lot of canyons out here as well. As far as the backside of it goes, those embers, every time I'm moving the camera around, I'm looking out the window because we've seen that so many times in the past. All that header, all that smoke right there, if it starts dropping embers down into these neighborhoods right here, that could be that is going to change the game completely. So I'm keeping an eye out, making sure that we don't see any hot spots over there. I'm going to bring up the other map here real quick and give you an idea where that portion is, because they were talking about the 5 freeway. So the 5 freeway definitely going to be covered by smoke right now, but and this is going to be on the other side of the 5 freeway, that neighborhood out there, and that's one of the spots where the header, the smoke is blowing in that general direction. Keeping an eye on it, making sure we don't see any of those hot spots pop up, the embers, and have any of those problems that we've seen so often with these vegetation fires in the past couple of weeks. But right now, it does actually seem, I'm actually saying this out loud, seems like the fire is slowing down a little bit because it's cresting a lot of these hillsides right here. And then, of course, with all those helicopters dropping water, I think that is going to be very, very beneficial for that whole firefight. Yeah, the super scoopers are here. So they are definitely working with their aerial assets, and this is really great to see. The wind's not that dangerous, not that high. So the super scoopers are up here, and also the helicopters. So that is great, and we're going to see the big difference. And I'm just going to be, because we're actually moving, let me swing the camera really around out here. I've got 2 of the big planes out here. There's one in the distance and one right here, and they are circling, waiting for the fire attack. That's basically a mobile tower for these guys to basically say, hey, you can come in, you can start doing drops. And of course, they got this one, and then there's another one. I just don't want to lose one for the other. There's another one right over here, but I think I'm going to get SKYFOX in the shot, and I think that's the one that's going to do the first drop. But look at how quickly they get out here. Look at how quickly they're making their way. And so this is, these are like the heroes. This is like the cavalry coming in, and they're going to start dropping the Phosgec, that flame retardant. But they have to wait for air attack to basically tell them, hey, you're safe to come in, because the fixed wing can't come into that area when the helicopters are out there. So that's what we're waiting on right now. But they are here, they're ready, and you know, again, another positive is their base is relatively close by. It's going to be Fox Field, so their turnaround time is going to be a lot better as well. Yeah, I have no IFB at all now. I mean, I got nothing. Hey, Jeff, if you want to turn around now, would be a good time. I'm just saying that. Hey, Jeff, I know you're crazy busy up there, but I said I know you're crazy busy, but don't worry about it. I was just going to say, if the super scoopers go out to Bouquet Canyon and pick up Bouquet Reservoir, that'll be out to our right now, just let me know. That's all I was asking. Okay. Bouquet would be the, I think it's the one out to the behind us now, probably like 5 o'clock. Castaic. Christian, are you trying to talk to me? Yeah, I so that's air attack in one of the tankers. Yeah, I don't like that other plume that's popping up over there. I wonder if it jumped the freeway. I don't think, we don't have fuel to get on the other side of this thing, do we? All right. Yeah, because it seems like they're doing the drops on the north side of the... They're really hammering it right there. Yeah, they're trying to really get that, slow the roll right there. I kind of hear you out there, and we're just watching as those planes, those tankers are dropping their Phos-Check. That's that flame retardant, and they are hitting two sides of the fire. They're hitting our side right here, which I'm going to call the south side, but they're also dropping on the other side of the smoke as well. When I was talking about air attack earlier on, I would venture to say that is air attack. So there's somebody inside that plane that's basically picking the spots where the tankers are going to do their drops. There's another one. Look at how low that is. That must be an e-ticket ride for sure. But they are making their way around out here, and they do the drops where where that smaller plane tells them to do it. They're also controlling where the helicopters are. So when these tankers are out here doing those Phos-Check drops, the helicopters, they are either waiting someplace or they are actually going to be out there hitting some other hotspots in a different portion of the fire. Now, like I said, where these tankers are getting the Phos-Check from is going to be out at Fox Field. Now, that's Lancaster, but you know what? It's not that far away from this fire, and that's going to be very helpful for this entire firefight. Now, the Super Scoopers, they are out here as well. They don't have to go somewhere. They just look for water. They might be picking up over here at Bouquet Canyon at the reservoir, or they might be actually over at Castaic. I'm trying to figure that one out myself right now. But you can see all the tankers, they did their drops. They're all turning around. They're heading out to the north. So there's going to be a little bit of a queue up there by Fox Field where they land. They got to get their water. They got to get the water. They got to get their Phos-Check, and then they're going to turn around and come right back. My concern is, I was trying to hear you guys on the IFB because it's very staticky out here, but you can see those flames running up to the north, and on Castaic, off the 5, that area up there does have some homes, and I don't know if you were talking about evacuations, but it seems to be a whole different, like it's kind of come around a corner and making their way up towards the north along the 5 freeway. So this fire definitely growing. They might be able to slow it down in the portion that's like right over here, but it's definitely moving the other way now. So it's going northeast from where we are and creating another plume of smoke out there. But these firefighters, they got their hands full, and that aerial attacks, that is what is going to really help out. Not taking anything away from the guys and gals on the ground. They've got their hands full too, and they're going to be doing what they can to get these flames in check. But right now, it seems to be a lot of the aerial assets that are going to slow these flames. But as long as there's a hillside, and even if the wind's blowing against it, that wind is just oxygen, and it's going to feed those flames, and then you add that uphill run, it's going to continue to grow out here and continue to put out all that smoke, and then those embers, where they're going, it's definitely scary for a lot of the folks up here in the Santa Clarita Valley area. can you give me like a 5 or a 10 or if for our return? Or are we slowly making our way closer to Van Nuys? Okay, no, I was curious. Because we've got to be coming up on at least 30 minutes, right? Oh, we still have 30 on scene? Because of altitude? Sweet. That's probably right. Maybe even more. Terrain. I'm think you were asking me about the neighborhoods and how close they are, and you can see it kind of right there. See, these are a lot of the homes that we were looking at earlier on, and the bulk of the fire is actually moving away from this area. Now, a wind change, or if any of the first responders are saying that those are the neighborhoods that you need to go, you go. Don't worry about don't even think about what I'm saying. If they say move, you move. We're taking a look at what's been going on, though. These flames, the FOS checks that they have been dropping, the flame retardants, what the big planes and the jets have been dropping over here. I keep taking a peek, and it does look like it is slowing the progression. You can see that line right there, and then you can see that burn scar, and the flames are actually going down that hillside right there. So that is going to be a little bit slower. All those aircraft that were here, they're back at Fox. They're going to be refilling their tanks with that FOS check, and they're going to make their way back over here. Yeah, one of the other positives that I see, I'm going to try to line this up before I push the button so it doesn't get too confusing, is the 5 freeway. Now, I was thinking they're going to maybe be shutting that down, but it definitely looks like the 5 freeway is moving in both directions. Bring that map up real quick and see if it lines up just a little bit. But it shows you that the 5 freeway still open, so first responders, they're still allowing traffic to move through that area. You're definitely driving through that smoke or under that smoke out there. That might be one of the reasons why they're allowing it, is because that smoke is staying high. It's not running right along the roadway. When we have those really high winds out here, sometimes that smoke will literally run just across the ground, and that would create a much different driving situation. So that might be one of the reasons why they're allowing that 5 freeway to keep moving. The northern side of the fire, that's that darker plume that you see right there. I'm curious about what's going on over there. I'm listening in. I don't hear them talking about anything in particular, but I know in that direction there are sparse homes out there. So that's something that I'm sure firefighters are concerned about as well. But that firefight, we saw it, how quickly it jumped up from questionable 100 acres to confirmed 5, which I would venture to say even right now, it's going to get higher. SKYFOX has got to make it right there, so we're going to see a little bit of the underbelly. SKYFOX always got to photobomb us, but you can see how that smoke is running through those neighborhoods out there, and it gets down to the hillsides, and then it does drop down. But I would venture to say that people in Ventura County are probably smelling and seeing a lot of this smoke out there. You can see how far that plume of smoke goes, and the winds, they're going to definitely push it and carry it in that direction. The smelling it, the dealing with it, that's one thing. A hot ember landing someplace out there, igniting something else, that's a different story altogether. But believe me, with the amount of resources that we have and the fact that the aerial assets can fly, they're really going, this is their moment to shine. This is the time where we're going to see, how it could have been different if we didn't have those hurricane force winds during the Palisades fire. And we definitely are seeing a little bit of a different sight picture of that smoke out there, out towards the head of the fire, right in this area right here. Yes, it's still moving, it's still burning, but it doesn't have that huge high plume out there. So that means that the FOS check is being effective. But right now, they're concerned about it moving this direction and that direction. Maybe when they come back, they'll start laying some lines trying to slow the roll in the northern direction. But as it stands right now, it's still a very, very, very active fight, and I know it. I know it for a fact. I would be worried if I was living in the Santa Clarita area, Newhall, anywhere out there, especially in that neighborhood on the other side of the 5 freeway, directly on the other side of Lake Hughes, this neighborhood right here. I would be very concerned about anything out here. Just looking out the window, you just don't want to see any embers fall in there and then catch any of that vegetation on fire near those homes. We don't want to see that happen again out here in the Castaic area. But right now, look at that plume of smoke, and it's massive and continues to grow. they are doing. Yeah, I was just going to say they're doing amazing work right now. If they were in the air, I'd be showing you where they're at, what they're doing. I venture to say that the helicopters are dropping water on the other side of the fire, which would be right now it's just impossible for us to get to at this moment. When those aerial assets come back, meaning the fixed wings, they make their way back over here, I would venture to say they're going to start again doing that same thing. They want to create that line right there. Now Lake Hughes Road, natural fire break for some of these flames, but I was just taking a peek at that, and it does look like it just kind of jumped over the road right there in a couple of spots. Yeah, that right there, it's way off in the distance, but let's see if we can do some miracle work. That is actually a dozer from LA County, and we've seen how effective they are. They get out there, they cut line. Basically, they take that huge dozer and they just plow through the vegetation, and they create fire breaks, and that is also part of your containment numbers, which we're not even starting to talk about, but that dozer is there and ready. And again, people might be saying, well, why isn't he? Look, they work regimented situation. They don't work on knee-jerk. They have a reason for being there, and they're waiting for their assignments, and as soon as they get it, that dozer is going to be out there working. I can guarantee it to you. I can tell you, I just looked out the window. I'm going to try to find it with the camera. I just saw the air attack making its way back out here, so they are back. He's back, so he's going to be doing a perimeter search, basically. He's just going to be flying this area. He's going to be the one that picks and chooses where they're going to drop the FOS check. So that's basically a mobile tower. That aircraft is giving the instructions to the fixed wing, tells them where to drop their FOS check, and they work with him and they coordinate, and then he basically leads them in. I haven't seen this aircraft do it, but in the past, a lot of them, they'll actually drop a white line of smoke out of the back of the plane, so that the following one, the one that drops the FOS check, knows, okay, this is where I hit the button and we start that line or do the drop. But he's definitely doing what we're doing from a distance. He's just kind of surveying this area, saying, all right, is the FOS check working? Are we getting the effects that we want? Are we got to double it up? How are we going to keep attacking this? But very, very active, and there's a lot going on down there. And again, the helicopters, they didn't leave. I'm pretty sure they're just on the other side of the smoke, dropping water on hotspots and keeping an eye on it. Embers, that's my biggest concern right now. We haven't heard about any structures burning. Hopefully we're going to keep it that way. But again, this is a very fast moving fire out here in the Castaic area. And again, moving to the northeast, and the winds kind of blowing against it, which is a positive, but any kind of oxygen near those flames, when they're running up those hillsides, it's just going to explode into fire. Luckily right now we're not seeing any of those big black plumes of smoke, and when we see those, that's usually that chaparral burning. The chaparral filled with natural oils, and that's the reason why we see a lot of that black smoke. But again, very active fight out here, and believe me, resources, they're still getting out here and getting their assignments. Copy. They got us in a little box. Now's the time to do it. You don't put SKYFOX in a little box. It's your call. Ruh-roh. SKYFOX, TOC, if you hear us now, for sure we lost the IFP. No doubt about it. And you fixed it. Thank you. I heard somebody say stew, I think. The winds at Loft are pretty ominous. I know we're live the entire time, but I want to show that. It's pretty amazing. It's all good. Christian, is that you? I can't make out a word you're saying. I'm serious. And I don't have any phone service. valuable to this firefight like you have no idea. These hotspots that are underneath here, I'm sure this is a concern for the firefighters, because if the winds change a little bit or they get up into a little bit of any kind of wind, it's going to just start spreading out in another direction. They don't want to see that at all. I'm looking out the window. I see a United plane flying really low right by us. That was pretty amazing to see. There he goes. I wonder what that is all about. Anyways, the fire itself continues to burn out here, the Lake Hughes fire. That black smoke, don't panic. That is, or I would venture to say, not going to be any kind of structures. Those are going to be that heavy in oil chaparral. That's natural oils that's in those plants. That's what's creating that black smoke. But it also carries those embers. That's going to be the worry. I'm going to do a pan. I have a feeling, hopefully Jeff can move with me, but just going to do a pan to show just the wind directions and the smoke as we're panning along. As we keep going, through that light right there, that's going to be out towards Simi Valley. So that's as far as that smoke has gone, and is actually kind of whipped back around and made its way over Oat Mountain. The wispy parts that I'm showing you right there, that's going to be Oat Mountain. If you don't know where Oat Mountain is, just think Magic Mountain is over here in this area, and that's the valley. That's going to be the San Fernando Valley. So this, as far as the smoke goes and in the air and how far you can see it, this thing is huge. 3,400 acres of ash in the air. That is a lot of ash to get around. And with these winds, it's just moving it around. And again, embers, biggest concern. The whole time we've been here, we've been taking peeks and making sure we're not seeing any hot spots in any of those neighborhoods. Lake Hughes area, definitely scary. But as far as that firefight goes, aerial resources, look at the difference. Earlier on when we got here, this is where it all was. This is where the direction it was moving, and they really kind of hit the head of that fire hard, and that really kind of slowed it down. So we're seeing this area right here. This is just fuel that is inside the burn area. That's the technical term for it. But Lake Hughes Road, if the winds do not pick up, if there's nothing that could change, Lake Hughes Road is actually going to be a portion, or going to be a part of the fire break. That's going to be a spot where it's naturally just going to burn up to that roadway, and it's going to be a spot where the ground crews could basically make a stand and say, well, this is like, we're going to keep it in this area right here, can burn this part just so long as it doesn't get to this part. That's the biggest concern. But very active firefight indeed, and the LA County Fire and all the resources that are out here, they're earning their pay this fire season. And you got to think about it. We always say it. It's always fire season in Los Angeles or in LA County. It's January, for gosh sakes. And look at what we're dealing with. If we got to go, we got to go. All right. We're heading back in. For fuel. SKYFOX to CBS TOC on frequency 2. If you have it up, we're almost on the ground. Like to knock it down.